Hello, welcome. I have not made a video because all of my books are packed away and they have been for 2 weeks and they will be for another 2 more weeks. I love that for me. And I'm doing a reading vlog. It's taking me a really long time. So I was like trying to figure out what I should be doing or what I should do now while my books are just not here. And I bought some books and I've decided to do not a haul because I have a little haul part of that vlog, which you'll see later. But I've decided to read the opening lines of these books and judge them and predict what I will rate them based off those opening lines. So that's what we have today. We're just gonna see if I think that I'm gonna like the books that I bought for myself. And if I'm not impressed with the opening lines, there's a good chance that I might never read them. Love it. And a lot of these books are like, not a lot, I guess, but some of these books are very random because I went to Barnes & Noble's, or one of the Barnes & Noble's near me that's closing down for remodeling, and there was not much there, so I kind of just like walked around and picked up some random books and bought them because they were all like $4 to $6 a piece. So I was like, it doesn't hurt. Like I bought like 6 books for like $45, $50 maybe, like at the most. So let's see. Let's start with the one that has the worst cover. It's called Women in Sunlight by Frances Mays. And this is about a group of women that go to Italy, and that's all I know. But I love like Italy. That doesn't, okay. I love books that take place in Italy. Like I like the atmosphere, and I liked the spine of this one. The book kind of redeems itself with the spine, because like not very pretty. That's nice though. So I guess we'll start with this one. The opening line, Arrivals. By chance, I witnessed the arrival of the 3 American women. I'd been reading in my garden for a couple of hours, taking a few notes and making black dots in the margins, a way to locate interesting sentences later without defacing the book. Around 4:30 on these early darkening days, some impulse toward dinner quickens, and I began to consider the veal chops in the fridge and to think of cutting a bunch of the shard till still rampaging through the orto. Could not tell you. This is definitely a book for like women in their 30s and 40s, maybe 50s as well. Definitely getting that vibe that it's like for adult women. And I'm getting the idea that it's gonna be slow, character-based kind of novel. And I'm predicting a 4 stars. I'm predicting that it's gonna surprise me and I'm gonna like it. Maybe. Cause it sounds like not much in that, like there's no like real pull in those first few sentences. But I just have a feeling that I would like it anyways. So there's that one. And then I have Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I'm biased in the fact that I am really excited to read this book. Like this has been on my radar since I was like a young teen, and now I'm like not. So it's been quite a while. I don't even know what this is about. I just know it's a fantasy. I don't know much else besides that. My care for this is more that it's Brandon Sanderson than anything else. I guess we'll start. Should we start the prologue? Yeah, we'll start with the prologue. I don't know. Prologue. Elantris was beautiful once. It was called the City of the Gods, a place of power, radiance, and magic. Visitors say that the very stones glowed within the inner light, and that the city contained wondrous, arcane marvels. At night, Elantris shone like a great silvery fire, visible even from a great distance. I'm gonna love this. 100%. I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna predict a 4.5. 4.5 stars. It's short, and I just love a fantasy, and I love a good atmosphere. Sorry, my roommate is opening the garage, I guess. And yeah, 4.5. Let's do another random one that I bought at Barnes & Noble. This is The War for Gloria by Atticus Lish. This one I remember reading was about this guy whose mom gets diagnosed with ALS, and he also hates his dad. So I imagine it's a very much family drama type of vibe. And I know this is an older book. I've never really heard of it. I just liked the cover. I went for it anyways. Been wanting to read. This is not an older book. This is from 2021. They really got me with this. Interesting. Okay. Chapter 1. Woman, Earth, Sun, and Richard Feynman. I kind of like that. You never think about nerves and breathing. You take breathing for granted. You take the nerves under your skin or under the skin of another animal for granted. His mother loved him. Gloria said, "You make me laugh." He had a sense of humor about their lives, apparently. I can see myself loving that. Again. I'm gonna go with 4, maybe? Immediately, I like the writing style. I feel like this is a book for, like the lit fic fans. Like, it would be one of those, like, really popular, like, really loved, like, emotional literary fiction, character-based novels. I love stuff like that. I haven't really read a lot of lit fic recently, but I love lit fic. This is definitely that. I've never heard of this book. That's crazy. I just really loved the cover. That's wild. I hope I love it. I'm actually super intrigued. This is the one that has really sparked me the most so far. I think I'm surprised by those opening lines. That sounds interesting to me, truthfully. Let's do a Zadie Smith. I love Zadie Smith. This is Swing Time. This is about 2 girls who are dancers, or they want to be dancers. I don't know much else about that. I think it just follows their lives and, like, their struggles, which is a very Zadie Smith thing. This one also has a prologue, so I guess we'll have to start with the prologue. It was the first day of my humiliation. Put on a plane, sent back home to England, set up with a temporary rental in St. John's Wood. The flat was on the 8th floor. The windows looked over the cricket ground. It had been chosen, I think, because of the doorman, who blocked all inquiries. I stayed indoors. The phone on the kitchen wall rang and rang, but I was warned not to answer it and to keep my own phone switched off. Interesting. Again, another little surprise here, I feel like. I don't know. 3.5 to 4 is my guess. I'm like not hopeful enough to ever predict a 5. Truthfully, I feel like any of these could be a 5. I feel like any book can be a 5, but, like, being, like, realistic, I'm gonna say 3.5 to 4. I don't know. I feel like the people that I know that read Zadie Smith, and that's not very many of them, they're all the classic lit fic readers again. So I feel like, again, that's what I would have to say, is, like, this is very much up the lit fic alley. But Zadie Smith is more humorous than she is, like, emotional, I would say. Like, White Teeth by Zadie Smith is, like, very funny and goofy, and, like, the characters are very, like, kind of ridiculous. Like, they're, like, more like caricatures than, like, characters. And I'm curious to see if she does that in this as well. And, like, that a little bit ridiculous, but still somewhat plausible of, like, a storyline, or to an extent, I don't know. I'm excited that was interesting. Immediately, we have someone who can't leave a room. Then I picked up Hopscotch by Julio Cortázar. I love the cover of this. This is the one that's old. That's the one I'm thinking of. You can tell even by the way that it looks. It's, like, printed. That's an old book. This is about an Argentinian writer. And his friends. And there's, I think, a mystery, a death kind of vibe in here. This is definitely a book for people who like classics. Okay, chapter 1. Would I find La Maga? Most of the time it was just a case of my putting in an appearance, going along the Rue de Seine to the arch leading into the Croix de Conti, and I would see her slender form against the olive ashen light which floats along the river as she crossed back and forth on the Pont d'Arts, or leaned over the iron rail looking at the water. It was quite natural for me to climb the steps to the bridge, go into its narrowness, and over to where La Maga stood. She would smile and show no surprise, convinced as she was, the same as I, that casual meetings are apt to be just the opposite, and that people who make dates are the same kind who need lines on their writing paper, or who always squeeze up from the bottom on a tube of toothpaste. Interesting. Maybe 3? Maybe 3 stars? I don't know. It's very classic vibes without being classic that I know of. I think this was written in the 60s. I have not really read like any literature from the 60s. I don't know. I like the writing style so far. It seems very much like classic readers would like something like this. It just depends for me on if it like gets too deep into like the description heavy side of things. So I love character based things. I love plot based, obviously. There are like some novels that are just like all descriptors like for so long, and I feel like that's like my least favorite style of a novel, and this definitely could border on being too much. Like already there's like so many names of things, and all that just like goes over, like, I just goes right through my ears. Like I just don't need to know all the details because it's just too much information for my brain to know. I'm gonna guess a 3, you know. Then I have another Zadie Smith. We have NW. This is one that I don't really know much about, but I know people read this one frequently. So I don't know, I could not tell you what it's about. I just really love Zadie Smith, so that's why I bought it. So we're just gonna read the first little lines. This part is called Visitation. Chapter 1. The fat sun stalls by the phone masts. Anti-climb paint turns sulfurous on school gates and lampposts. In Williston, people go barefoot. The streets turn European. There is a mania for eating outside. She keeps to the shade. Red-headed, on the radio, I am the sole author of the dictionary that defines me. A good line, write it out on the back of a magazine. In a hammock in the garden of a basement flat, fenced in on all sides. I won't lie to you, didn't get much from that. It was just fragmented. So this is already a different style than the little blurb I just read from Swing Time, as well as from White Teeth. This is very much, so far, a different style. I think this is one of her newest ones too. This is from 2012. But yeah, so far a different style. I would guess the fragmented style would not be a favorite of mine, and I would guess closer to a 3.5. I don't know. I'm trying to be harsh. I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'll love it. Again, lit fic readers, I already know they love this book. This is like a lit fic book. I'm really interested. Okay, one more little bookie. This one very much does not fit the theme of the rest of the books. This one I ordered online, so I didn't buy it when I was at the store because they don't have it there. Binding 13, Boys of Tom and Number 1 by Chloe Walsh. I have been seeing this literally everywhere, and for some reason I love a glossy cover, so I just really wanted it. And this is a rugby romance, and it's a new adult, like I think they're in college. Okay, chapter 1, High Hopes, Shannon. It was January 10th, 2005. A whole new year and the first day back to school after Christmas break. And I was nervous. So nervous, in fact, that I had thrown up no less than 3 times this morning. My pulse was beating at a concerning rate, my anxiety the culprit for my erratic heartbeat, not to mention the cause of my upchuck reflex abandoning me. Smoothing down my new school uniform, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and hardly recognized myself. Navy jumper with the Tom in College crest on the breast, with a white shirt and red tie. gray skirt that stopped at the knee, revealing 2 scrawny, underdeveloped legs, and finishing with tan tights, navy socks, and 2-inch black court shoes. I looked like an implant. I felt like one too. Okay, so knowing myself, I would say this will probably get a 3. However, I'm excited to read it, and when I get really excited to read a book, I tend to enjoy it more just because I'm like really desperate to read it. So maybe it'll go up to even a 4, but I feel like knowing myself, it'll be a 3. But I don't know. I really want to love this. And this is, of course, a romance girlies book. This is not a dark romance. It's just a sports romance, like normal romance. So it's not really necessarily for the dark romance girlies, but I think this kind of like, this book is read by kind of just anyone in the romance loving world. So it's very maybe versatile. Like it's kind of like a in between a lot of these books. Like it's not rom-com, but it's not dark romance, and it's somewhere in the middle, which I'm interested in because I don't really like rom-coms, but dark romance is too much for me. So yeah, so if I'm gonna like it, I would think something like this would be what I would like in a romance, hopefully. But yeah, those are all my little bookies. Those are all my predictions for my TBR books that I just bought. Hopefully I read some of them soon, especially because all my books are going to be packed away for a while. And yeah, that was it. Little one-take impromptu little video today. I'll see you guys maybe soon. Maybe. Bye.